Greetings, lovely people. Yeah, for those who don't know, the wonderful Elliot Page recently came out as being. I believe they specified that they were queer, not that they were a trans man, though I may be wrong, I've only read it through once, the actual, statement. But, yeah, they now use he, they, which is great. I'm generally going to use they just because mentally it's easier. Um, not as in I'm not explaining this very well, but generally my brain just I struggle. My brain doesn't function properly. I use they for everybody at this point. So generally, when I'm talking about Elliot, I'll be saying they. I'll try to say he, but I probably won't a lot of the time. But at the end of the day, that is way better than what my man Ben Shapiro has been doing. And he decided that he was going to release a 9-minute video just misgendering Elliot continuously. And yeah, I thought, what better time to start my reaction career than right now and watch a Ben Shapiro video.
Let's watch the rain as it's falling down.
What am I doing with my life, honestly? Right, let's just jump into it, I guess.
Okay, now, I would be remiss today if I did not discuss one of the great issues of our time.
Is it that the rightoids are still hung up on the fact that queer people exist? Because, I mean, I'd say that's still a pretty big issue.
And that is that the actress Ellen Page, who is, was, and shall remain a woman, is now a man. So let me read you the headline from CNN, which conveys zero information. Right, we have now been forced as a society to simply say nonsense.
Says the person who literally made a career out of spouting nonsense, but I'll let him continue.
To simply just say things that are nonsense, that don't make any sort of logical sense, that don't actually translate from English to reason.
Oh, I forget, he likes to talk about his facts and logic a lot, doesn't he? Oh, wow. It's been a while since I've watched a Ben Shapiro video. I try and steer clear of them. They are usually pretty trash. Oh, this is going to be a fun one. I can tell already.
Okay, so here is the headline, and you tell me if you know what the hell this means. Okay, ready? Elliot Page, Juno star, shares transgender identity.
Okay, I can tell you what that means. It means the person who played the character Juno in Juno. I believe the character's actually called Juno. I can't remember. It's been a very long time since I've watched that movie. The person who played the main character in Juno, who is called Elliot Page, has revealed whatever the wording was, that they are trans. I'm pretty sure that's exactly what it means, and I'd say that's pretty clear. I thought Ben Shapiro was pretty dumb, but I mean, this is next level.
Do you have any idea what that means?
Yes,
Seriously,
I
do you have
just
any idea what that
explained
means? When I first saw the headline Elliot Page, I thought, whoa, Ellen has a brother?
And I'm sure there's plenty of people that will have thought that. It's perfectly fine. I think it's perfectly reasonable to hear somebody's, I suppose, new name. Wording, I know. But, yeah, generally, I think it is pretty normal for someone to hear a name that is similar, but not the same. In the case of Elliot, being similar to Elliot's dead name. And be like, oh, is that a sibling? Is that a cousin? Is that, a parent, a child? Anything like that, is it something like that? It's definitely possible to think like that. But the fact it then goes to say that they have revealed their transgender identity pretty much tells you, oh, that female actress that I knew of is now transgender. So it must be referring to them. So they are Elliot Page. I think it's pretty clear, and I'm trying to be careful with how I'm wording things. I understand it can be a bit of a minefield when talking about this kind of stuff, which is something that Ben just doesn't understand, but I don't know, it's not a difficult concept to grasp. At least not in my opinion.
No, it turns out that Ellen Page is now identifying as Elliot Page.
I mean, that is an accurate description, but also Elliot Page just is Elliot Page. Nothing has changed. Nothing nothing has changed except for what you call them. So they are still the same person at the end of the day. I don't like this is the I don't know. These arguments are things I don't understand, because at the end of the day, if somebody, not a trans person of any description, just somebody went from, say their name was Jeff. Say the name was Jeff, and they decided, you know what, I don't like the name Jeff, and I'm not a fan of it. I'm going to change my name to Simon. Yeah, cool. And if somebody was then to go and be like, no, Jeff, you're always going to be Jeff to me, no matter what, you're always Jeff, people would call them an idiot. People would call them just dumb. Because that's the level that we're talking about. It's literally a name change and a pronoun change, which the pronouns in the case of trans people are a lot easier to deal with because the name is usually gendered that direction. If it's a non-binary person, it can be different. I understand that, but like when it comes to binary trans people, of someone transitioning to a man or transitioning to a woman, it's very rare that they'll have a name that isn't standard binary. So someone going from, let's just keep on this train of thought, someone with the name Jeff, if they transition and they become Ellie, I don't know. I'm just trying to think of generic names. It's pretty obvious at that point that, oh, Jeff was he him, fair enough. Oh, Ellie is she her? They're the same person. They're not a different person. But the name kind of gives it away to what you should be calling them. I don't know. That might just be my queer brain just being like, this makes sense, but I don't know. I think his ape brain's just not functioning properly.
And the media, instead of saying, here's a headline with content, Ellen Page announces she identifies as man, wishes to be called Elliot Page.
Now, that would be fine, but it doesn't really function the way you think it does. Because I would say, personally, that makes it more confusing. And once again, dumb brain, may just be me, but surely saying something like, I'll just keep going to the same example because I don't really want to have to say Elliot's dead name, but say we went, Jeff declares, I don't know, Jeff declares she's now Ellie or something. It's like, well, that makes less sense now. Just say, like, especially when the last name is there, Page, there's not too many, especially when it's specifying that it's an actress or an actor or any other, like, if it's giving a role, like a job, and a last name, generally, people that know them will know them and understand, oh, that's obviously, and now they're Elliot. Fair enough. It's such a dumb thing to look at and go, this doesn't make sense. And Ben, what are we going to do with you?
Right, now I would have the whole story. But Elliot Page, Juno star, conveys nothing because Ellen Page was the star of Juno. So I'm like, wait, was her brother in that movie?
Actually, no. Elliot Page was the star of Juno. They're the same person. The name's changed and the pronouns have changed, but they're the same person still. It's idiotic to... I don't know whether he's just playing dumb at this point, because to me it just kind of reads as, oh, I'm too dumb to understand that people can change their name. And sometimes it doesn't fit to the gender they were assigned at birth. It's like, it feels very odd to me that he's saying things in such a way. I don't really... I think it's idiotic, honestly. That's my personal opinion.
Like, I don't even know what you're talking about right now. Because the media have created this bizarre standard whereby if a person declares themselves a member of the opposite gender, the entire world, especially in the media, must immediately flip on a dime, stop calling them by the name everybody knew them as, and stop calling them by their biological sex. You end up with complete nonsense.
It's literally just basic respect. Maybe you should learn it.
Complete bleh coming out of the mouths of the media.
Says Ben Shapiro. That's a funny thing. That's a really good like reaction gif to anything he ever says in the future. Just himself going Blair. It's just Blair coming from the media. That's just spicy.
Now listen, Ellen Page can identify however she wants. I don't care.
Then why don't you respect it and stop saying she? Why don't you respect that he want to use they and he pronouns? I've got a feeling he's not even going to mention the fact that like there's that non-binary aspect to it. It's probably just going to be very heavily in the binary, and that's just kind of who he is. I don't really think that's too much of an issue in the grand scheme. If he was consistently saying he, the fact that he's consistently saying she though is the issue.
Really, it makes no difference to me. She is an adult human. She can do what.
I do appreciate that he doesn't specify. He just says adult human. I know he's saying the wrong pronouns and everything. I just kind of appreciate the adult human because I do that a lot as well. I just think it's a good catch-all, you know. Adult human. I don't know. That might just be me.
Whatever she wants. It is a free country. However, it being a free country, I am also free to point out that Ellen Page is, was, and shall remain a woman.
Oh God, do I have to talk about the whole Freedom of Speech Act thing again? Right. So, while you're completely right that you can say and do whatever you want, pretty much, there are limits to that. You are not allowed to just completely be bigoted or anything to that matter. You're not allowed to just do literally anything. You're able to do and say almost everything. So, you know, I can't. If I, for example, I'm white, you know, whatever. It doesn't really matter. I don't think race is a factor in anything really. It shouldn't be a factor in anything. I know it is very much, and because of our society, all that jazz. I don't care. Like, if I went onto a video, if I went onto the Luna show, you know, and started saying, oh, people of this race, like, are just like, you know, I don't know. I'm trying to word it in a dumb way that he would appreciate. They're just the B-Tech white people, you know? It's like, you can't get away with that, you know? Yeah, sure, I'm allowed to have those thoughts, I'm allowed to have those opinions, but there's a difference between being allowed to just have opinions and allowed to actually express those without criticism. So, yeah, sure, you can say what you want about, oh yeah, free speech, I can say what I want. You have to expect that everyone's going to disagree with you, or some people are going to disagree with you. You could say something that is actual facts and truth. You're still going to have people that disagree with you, just as you disagree with people that have actual facts and truth.
Because Ellen Page is in fact a woman. Now I'm happy to
Jeez, you don't learn, Ben. You don't learn.
call Ellen Page Elliot if she wants to
Then do. Stop calling them by their dead name. Just call them Elliot. It's a simple process.
be called Elliot because people change their names all the time, and you can in fact change your name by declaration. You cannot, however, change your sex by declaration.
Actually, you can in all but about like 5 states in the US, and I'm pretty sure you can in most of Europe. You definitely can in the UK, which is where I am. You can in certain places in Asia. You can't in the Middle East. That's fair. You can in, I forgot what we call Oceania. I guess I don't know what the modern name for it is. I don't know if it is Oceania, but the area of like the Philippines and Australia, New Zealand, stuff like that. Not Philippines. That's the wrong country. I think you know what I mean. Oceania though, Australia, New Zealand, and the other islands. All of them allow, at least in part, depending on like some of them require a little bit more. Like, I think some of them require that you actually are actively transitioning and stuff before you can do it. But like, plenty of places allow for legal changing of sex or gender, whatever you want to call it. He's saying sex, and it is actually you can change your sex according to the law. In terms of you can change like the identifier on like IDs. You can change how like legal systems actually represent you and stuff. You can change it just as easily as you can change your name. I'm pretty sure it's the exact same process in a lot of countries and states.
or your gender by declaration. That is not how this works. There is no other area of life in which people simply declare themselves to be a thing and everybody goes, oh, okay.
I mean, there is actually sexuality. I'm trying to think. There are a number of ones. Fandom is another big one. That you can just kind of announce that you're something, and generally people just accept it. I'm trying to think of other examples because there's not really much in society beyond, I suppose if you were to announce you were a different race, people would have an issue with it. I suppose that's a fair point towards you. That's fair. I'm trying to think of any other real thing because it's really society only puts into boxes race, gender, and sex. That's really it. So I'm trying. I don't think there's any other societal thing that we do put in a box. No, I think that's it. So yeah, of the 3 things that we actually put in a box, there's only one of them that's kind of free. You're not completely wrong, Ben, but I mean, you're not exactly right.
Right, an objectively verifiable thing, right there.
Oh wow, he's actually pulling out the dumb language of just I'm saying big words that sound fancy, so now you have to believe me, sort of thing. Oh wow.
You can declare your sexual orientation, or you can declare a thing that you like. You can declare that.
Okay, that's kind of what I was saying about the fandom thing. Okay, cool.
You're a fan of this particular band. You can declare that you have a sexual attraction to X, Y, or Z. Right, that's all subjective, and all we have.
Ben Shapiro just slipped up and decided that he was going to say there's 3 genders. Wow. we're making strides out here. I don't actually know Ben's opinions on non-binary issues or whatever, so I wonder if he actually accepts that non-binary is a thing. It's very interesting to me that he seems to have this wishy-washy understanding of everything, and it's very cringe, but it's kind of cool at the same time.
To go on is your behavior, which is objective, and your subjective self-assessment. However, when you're declaring something as core as your sex, there's no objectifiable.
Unless you're sleeping with the person, it's not really core to anyone other than them. I'll be quite honest. Why do you care what's in someone's pants, I mean, my guy, if you're wanting some of that, I'm trying to. I'm not going to continue this train of thought because I'm going to end up offending someone. But if you're finding attraction to trans males or trans females or whatever, my guy, you're allowed. It's 2020. There's a lot of things wrong right now, but I mean, generally, you are allowed to like who you like.
No objective measure whatsoever whereby Ellen Page is a man. None.
I mean, socially, yes. Because that's all this is. I've been someone who has said on many occasions that the whole idea of biological, sex, biological gender, or whatever, is just kind of a dumb concept that doesn't really need. Because the entire. Yes, generally, as a general rule, without becoming infertile, you cannot change your actual, you can't change the physical characteristics that define sex. You can't. You can have surgery which actually changes it, aesthetically and stuff, but as I say, it's for the most part, it changes it to be so that you're infertile. That's an unfortunate thing. It's definitely possible that one day that will be changed. We'll be able to, science will advance enough that we'll be able to actually, transition and still keep fertility and stuff, but, generally, yeah, there is a change. I'm losing my train of thought because I'm having to over-explain myself because I want to be delicate as much as I can. Yeah.
Right, she is a woman. And yet we are immediately told by the media that to even address Ellen Page or Elliot Page as a she is discriminatory.
No, it's just invalidatory. Just be nice to people. Just say if they want to be called a certain thing, or if they want certain pronouns, or if they, I don't know, whatever, just be respectful. Most people are willing to find a middle ground between things. So, yes, there are some people, this is a bit of a tangent, I know, but there will be some people who identify in a very odd way. there's people that have like space gender or whatever, and as much as that's a whole conversation for a different thing. But like most of the time, my experience with people that have these like out there identities, like generally, I've seen people that are like not quite comfortable with referring to them in such a way. But generally, those people are like, well, in that case, I am non-binary. You can use just they them. If that makes it easier for you to understand, if that makes it easier for you to, get along, then that's fine. A lot of the time, not everyone is like that. Some people are very hard set. And, that's probably the kinds of people that he is truly arguing about, but like, or complaining about. But like, generally, people are willing to meet you halfway with situations just so that everyone's comfortable. Like, going one way or the other, going either extreme, can be uncomfortable for some people. But usually there is a middle ground or a meeting point where suddenly it's fine on both sides. May not be perfect, may not be preferred, but it is fine. It is doable. I just wish that people at Shapiro actually understood this.
It's very bad and very discriminatory. And so you end up with complete inanities and insanities. Okay, so Ellen Page declared that she is now a man.
Right. Have you noticed how he has to he has to specifically like take a pause before he misgenders them? Like it takes like a half second before he says the incorrect pronoun. Like I don't know if he's having to process it or he just wants emphasis, but in any case, it shows that he's actually having to think about it. And I think it's because his little ape brain's probably a bit confused about the fact he keeps saying Elliot and Ellen. Sorry, I know I said I wasn't going to say the dead name, but it's like, he keeps saying two different names about the same person, and then he has to think about it, doesn't he? He can't just... And this is the issue with... This is why it's a lot easier to have a headline that just kind of states the current name, because it doesn't confuse things. At the end of the day, especially with an actor, with any public figure, it is going to be easier to just state the new name and just be like, yeah, they're now trans. It's insane.
Okay? But she also declared that she is a queer man. Now, this is confusing.
I may be wrong. I did kind of mention this earlier. I do not believe he's said that he's a queer man. I believe he said he's a queer person, and by the fact that he uses he they, does, to me at least, suggest that he is not necessarily in the binary. Obviously, until Elliot actually specifies, his overall identity, which he may never do. It's perfectly fine to not do that, or to do that, it doesn't really matter. But unless Elliot specifically says, no, I am completely a, binary man, or I'm a non-binary person, or a non-binary man, which, perfectly valid if you want to identify that way, it doesn't matter in the grand scheme. It's very much just it's just a dumb point of contention, honestly. I don't know anymore.
Because if she were a queer man, this would mean that she is attracted to men.
Oh, you think that's what that means? Oh, well, clearly, Ben, you're not really up to date on your LGBTQ plus IA whatever. I even lose track of it. I understand why people have an issue with that. Sorry. So queer generally just means it's just a catch-all generally. It doesn't necessarily mean gay. It generally just means like not the norm. It comes from the word meaning queer. Meaning weird. Queer comes from weird, or abnormal, or different. So, at the end of the day, saying you're a queer man or a queer woman basically means it could mean you're gay or lesbian. It could mean that you're bi, pan, ace. It could mean that you're trans. It could mean that you're non-binary. It's kind of a catch-all. Queer just means whatever within the LGBTQ plus space. So I understand, as someone who is very cis het, he probably doesn't understand that. Ben probably doesn't understand that. But like, I I don't think it's as complicated as he's making it out to be.
which would technically mean that she's a straight woman, right?
Oh wow. Oh wow. Okay. Right. That's not how that works. So by that logic, wouldn't that make a gay man a straight woman? I just, I, it's so, it adds an extra layer. I don't understand. They think that they're making it easier on themselves by being like, oh yeah, this trans man that's attracted to, men. Oh, that's a straight woman. That's just adding an extra layer. It doesn't simplify it. It makes it more complicated. I don't get why they keep making these sorts of arguments. Anyway, whatever.
Because if she is an actual woman attracted to men, this would make her a straight woman. But we know she's not that because she was a lesbian.
Still potentially could be. Like, oh god, I'm doing it now. Ben, you have messed me up so badly. Like, he, as far as I'm aware, is still married to a woman. I'm trying to think. Yeah, he doesn't specify anything in his little declaration, his little statement about anything to do with his sexuality. So I think the assumption is, if he is completely a binary male, a completely trans male, then he would be straight. If he's non-binary, I guess you can argue either way. I choose to just say that if only one person is non-binary in that situation, then no matter what, it's gay. But I don't know. Interesting. This is such a weird argument that he's making. I don't really understand why he's doing this.
Right, so she is married to a woman, as far as I'm aware.
Yeah.
And that means that she is a lesbian, but now she is a man. And according to her, this means that she is a white, straight male.
Yeah. Okay. I can. Yeah. I say if Elliot is like binary, then yeah, that's what he is.
So how's she queer? She's a white, straight male.
Because he uses they pronouns as well as he pronouns, and is trans. I'm starting to think I'm wrong at this point. Like, what is he saying?
So here is how Wikipedia tries to sum this up. You ready for this? According to Wikipedia, in January 2018, Page publicly announced his marriage to dancer and choreographer Emma Portner. So this means that Ellen Page is a gay man married to a woman, according to Wikipedia.
No, because Wikipedia isn't saying that he's a gay man. They're saying he's a queer person or maybe a queer man, but that doesn't mean gay. Queer isn't the same as gay. Why are you making this comparison?
Which makes no sense at all, like in any way, shape, or form.
You know what? I'll agree with Ben. What he is saying makes no sense, but that's not because of the Wikipedia article or because of the actual facts. It's just because he's misconstrued what words in that sentence mean. Because the Wikipedia article does not say... does not at all say that Elliot is a gay man. If anything, it'll say he's a queer man, which is accurate, because he's trans. I don't understand where the issue is, Ben. Why are you doing this?
And you're expected to simply mirror this. Not only that, the left has particular standards with regard to who gets to play parts in movies. So, for example, Ellen Page, now Elliot Page. Right? I'm saying Ellen Page not because I wish to offend Elliot Page.
Oh, you most certainly are.
But because until 5 seconds ago, nobody had ever heard of Elliot Page, so nobody knows who the hell I'm talking about. So,
well, I mean, I don't know how the Ben Shapiro show is actually done. It might be live. I only know of it from the YouTube channel, and like I know he has like social media. This may be live. I may be wrong, but I'm pretty sure the fact that you've already explained it for a good few minutes of who Elliot Page is, I'm pretty sure even the most boneheaded people are going to understand, oh, Elliot Page, that's the person who played the main character in Juno. I know who they are. I think generally they're going to know what you're on about, or who you're on about specifically. Like, I don't know if he thinks his audience is dumb or if he's just dumb.
When you use the name that people know her as. And then over time,
Why are you saying her though? Why are you using female pronouns? Nonsense land, nonsense land.
if you want to call it Elliot Page, that's fine. But for like today, I feel like it's fair to mention that Ellen Page and Elliot Page are the same person.
Yeah, you've already mentioned it a few times. You don't have to mention it anymore. You've said your piece. You've said that you think that Elliot should not be called Elliot or whatever you're trying to argue at this point. I've lost track of what your argument actually is. All I know is that you're just continually just misgendering and like dead naming them. And it's like, oh, I remember why I don't watch Ben Shapiro stuff anymore, because all it does is just melt my brain. This is the video definition of brain rot.
So that if somebody tunes in and hears Elliot Page, they don't think Ellen has a brother. Okay? So.
Oh, maybe it is live, because he did say tune in. It might be live. I don't know. I mean, who on earth is broadcasting him?
Here's the headline from TV Insider. Elliot Page reportedly to continue in same role on Umbrella Academy. Now, Umbrella Academy on Netflix, it started off that the series itself is based on a comic book. In the comic book, Ellen Page, who, again, is a woman, and is in the series a cisgender woman, right? Like a woman who is a woman, is a straight woman in the first season. In the second season, Ellen Page becomes a lesbian because
the fact that, like, because he's using Elliot's dead name rather than the character name, it just sounds so idiotic. But like, I'm not laughing at like the fact that he's dead naming him. I'm just laughing at the fact that he's not using the character name when talking about a character. Like, this is like, it's such a dumb way of talking about anything in media. A lot of people do it. I enjoy it usually. Like, it's such a dumb way of doing it.
Ellen Page is a lesbian in real life, I guess. I mean,
I may be wrong. It's been a while since I've read the comic. I haven't watched the show at all. The show didn't really interest me, but the comic, I'm pretty sure if Elliot's character is the character I'm thinking of, I'm pretty sure they do become a lesbian like partway through the series. Like in the comics themselves. I may be wrong on that. It's been a while since I actually read the comics. I haven't watched the show either, so I don't actually know which character it is that Elliot plays. Just being completely honest, I don't watch the show. It's not something that interests me. But like, generally, I'm pretty sure Elliot's character is like does come out as being a lesbian during the comics. So, I don't know. I don't think that was because of Elliot. I think that was just part of the story to begin with.
That's what the plan was there, and that it has something to do with how Ellen Page wanted to act, because my understanding is that's not something directly from the comic book series. If it is, forgive me, that's fine. Who cares? Okay.
Okay, he's in the same boat as me. He doesn't actually understand. He doesn't know either way. That's fine.
Okay, but here's the part that's hilarious. So according to Variety, they say there are no plans to change the character Ellen Page plays her gender on the Umbrella Academy.
Yeah, there is no need to. It's acting. You can play whoever you want. Like, a completely cis man can still play a woman. Like, that's allowed. Like, I mean, obviously, I'm going to reference pantomime names just because it's easier to think of examples. But obviously, John Travolta playing a woman in Hairspray, like, that's a cis straight white man playing a cis straight white woman. I just had to deal with an Amazon delivery mid-recording. That's great. I don't even remember what I was saying.
So the series is publicly showing their support, and they say they are proud of their superhero. We love you, Elliot, but Elliot will be playing a woman. Now, I've been firmly informed that this is discrimination and cultural appropriation.
Wait, what? No, anyone can play anyone. Like, oh, I bet he's gonna bring up the whole Sia thing. which is ridiculous. That entire thing, though. Just to get ahead of, he's probably going to bring it up, so I'm just going to get ahead of it. The whole Sia thing. The fact that she decided to hire someone that wasn't, I guess the term's neurodivergent, I think. Yeah, the fact that she hired an actor who's not neurodivergent to play someone that's neurodivergent isn't necessarily the issue. I don't have an issue with that personally. My issue is more that she responded to the criticism by just kind of acting like a baby. I'm going to let him continue because I assume he's going to bring that up.
When Scarlett Johansson, a straight woman, was slated to play a transgender...
Oh no, he's bringing up the Scarlett Jo stuff. Okay. I also don't think that was an issue. I don't know why people made an issue out of it. Because at the end of the day, no one cared when she played an Asian woman. But then playing a trans person, I can't remember whether it was a trans man or a trans woman, I can't remember now. But everyone had an issue with that. I don't get why. It's acting. You're allowed to play something that you're not.
Man in a movie. This was considered very, very bad form. In fact, only trans people could play trans characters.
Yeah, no, I will say that was the internet being the internet, and that was an overreaction and pretty dumb. I mean, at the end of the day, I've played plenty of things that I'm not. I played a lion once. I played a tree. I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think of other just random roles that I've played over time. That I've played a lion. I've played a bird. I said lion twice. 2 different lions. I've played. I'm trying to think. I've played a gazelle. Most of these are Lion King. I'm just realizing. Most of these are different shows of Lion King that I've done. I've played a musician pretending to be a teacher. Shout out to anyone that knows what musical that is. That was a really good performance. But yeah, no, acting is acting. I've played a ton of. I play a Russian character like in some skits. I'm not Russian. Like I'm not even East European or like. You can play whoever and whatever you want. I know this isn't the argument. This isn't an argument against Ben in this case because he's actually kind of saying this, but like, yeah, you're allowed to just play whatever and whoever you want. Like the backlash can often be dumb. But in my opinion, as I say with the Sia thing, my issue is more with the response to the criticism from the person who started the controversy, essentially. So Sia being a baby about it, whatever. Like ScarJo did the right thing and no one really responded to it. I think they apologized eventually, but like generally, it's acting. You're allowed to play things that you're not.
So I have a question. If Elliot Page is in fact a man, the way that the media have declared that she is a man...
He is a man, I agree. Or he is something that isn't a woman, like you keep trying to insinuate he is.
Then why is she allowed to play a cisgender woman?
Because it's acting.
Is that not cultural appropriation?
Wait, when did we bring cultural appropriation? Did I miss that? Did I miss cultural appropriation earlier? Also, that's not how cultural appropriation works. There isn't a... Oh, wow. Being female is not a culture. Being male is not a culture. Being non-binary is not a culture. They are part of culture. But culture is more so to do with, like, race and creed, colour, that sort of thing. Rather than... It's nothing to do with gender or sex or whatever. Cultural appropriation is about culture. I don't know why is he brought up cultural appropriation?
If a normal, non-trans man decided to play a woman...
Oh, jeez, he just said normal. He just called a cis person normal. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, wow. Jeez. Okay, Ben. Okay, cool. Let's carry on.
Today, everybody would suggest that this was a violation of long-standing norms. It was cultural appropriation.
It wouldn't be cultural appropriation. People would probably say it was bad. People would probably say that they wanted, more representation. But I'm going to sound like I'm going against my own points right now. At the end of the day, certain groups, like transgender people, don't really have that much representation. So it is nice when we get like trans people playing trans people. Same with neurodivergent, whatever it is. The people with autism. I'm just gonna like say it plainly. People with autism or anything similar to that. It's nice when they are the ones playing the characters that have those traits. You know, it's nice when a gay person's playing a gay character. It's nice when a trans person plays a trans character, an autistic character is played by an autistic actor. That's all great. That's, you know, all good and dandy because it gives us more examples of representation. You know, it's like, you know, an Asian character played by an Asian character or whatever. It's like I'd rather have more of that. That's great. But it doesn't matter as much as you're trying to make it out. It does, Ben. I'll be honest. At the end of the day, acting is acting. You can play whatever you want, whoever you want. You know, there's an argument for accuracy in terms of like certain things, but generally, just do what you want. Just live your lives. You know, just play who you want, be who you want. I don't care.
But if a woman declares herself a man, then you have to make a choice. Either she is a man, in which case she can't play a woman anymore, or she is.
Who says she can't? Who says that a woman can't play a man? And who says that a man can't play a woman? And who says that, like, a non-binary person can't play something that isn't non-binary? It's like... It's remarkable to me, the hoops that have to be jumped through for this sort of mentality. And the thing is, like, I know... I'm no longer arguing against Ben, because Ben is the one arguing against these points, but, like... I can't believe I'm actually agreeing with Ben on this, but, like... Yeah, no. Anyone can play anything. Anyone should be able to play anything. That's just how it is.
Is not a man, in which case she's not a man. But
Jesus Christ.
because our culture is unbelievably stupid, it is both. Right? That is the way that this works. So good news, Elliot Page can still play women and also can play transgender men, presumably can also play men, which is really exciting. One further note on all of this. If you feel like this is crazy and that this is being crammed down on you, that is because it is. That is because this is not a fringe phenomenon anymore. Right? This is something the Democratic Party fully embraces and pushes.
Really? Do they? That's news to me. The Dems don't really care. That's the difference. Like the Conservatives or whatever, the Republicans, should I say, because it's US. The Republicans care a hell of a lot, but they care in a negative way. Whereas the Democrats are kind of just like, they don't care at all about like how people identify. They just allow it.
Yesterday, Chuck Schumer, the Senate Minority Leader, he said that he is fully with Joe Biden on mandating from the federal government that transgender people be allowed to use the bathroom of their choice.
Which there shouldn't be an issue with. There shouldn't be. They're just like I can understand people maybe feeling a little uncomfortable with it. It is abnormal. It's not the norm. But that's because it hasn't become the norm yet. But like, you should just be able to use whatever bathroom like you feel comfortable using. Or just make all of them like genderless bathrooms. How much money could potentially be saved if we just, scrapped the idea of urinals completely, and we just made all bathrooms gender neutral, and make them like how universities and schools and stuff have them, where it's just a ton of cubicles that each have a sink. Like, I don't know. Just let people live their lives, man. Just let people live their life.
Now, it seems to me that if my wife is uncomfortable with a male walking...
I always forget Ben's married. I suppose it's not a surprise. I think I always think that he's way too gay to be married to a woman. We've lost another one. We've lost another one, guys. We don't have. We lost a true gay today.
Walking into a bathroom or a locker room where she is undressing at the gym, that is perfectly within her purview. That seems like not inappropriate at all to me. But the federal government has now decided under Democratic auspices that men and women are exactly the same. that gender is completely fluid. None of this makes any internal sense, by the way. If men and women are completely the same, there's no reason for you to declare yourself a man.
Because the social landscape doesn't allow for them to be treated the same. That's the be all end all. We can. It's easy enough to just say, oh yeah, they are, different. They are the same. They are whatever. It's harder to actually act on things like that. I don't really understand what you're struggling to understand, Ben. I'll be quite honest.
Man equals woman means woman equals woman.
Hell yeah. Can I live in this reality? This reality sounds fun.
Right? I mean, this is just the basic transitive property. In any case, here is Chuck Schumer, fully greenlighting the Democratic agenda, which is fully in line with all of this silliness and anti-logic nonsense. And again, Ellen Page or Elliot Page is allowed to do whatever she wants to do today, but she doesn't.
Why does he keep saying she? I don't get it. I don't get what's so oh god.
Not get to dictate what the rest of us say about things as basic as biological sex and capital T truth.
Oh wow, he brought out the capital T truth, guys. It's over. I'm done. It's over. I've been proven wrong with facts and logic. Oh wow. I don't.
But here's the Democratic Party pushing this stuff.
Joe Biden said that on his first day of office, he will give transgender students access to sports, bathrooms, and locker rooms in accordance with their gender identity in all federally funded schools. Do you think he has the ability to do this, and do you agree with this decision?
I agree with the decision, and I know he'll check things out thoroughly legally.
I'm pretty sure legally he does have the ability to do so. There's other than in the I think pretty much he'll have the ability to do it in most of the states. I said it earlier, I think there's only 5 states that don't allow for the changing of your gender or sex identity, whichever it actually specifically is. So I'm pretty sure outside of those 5 states or whatever, he's probably perfectly fine to do so.
Okay, I'm sure that this will all work out just fantastically well.
Oh yeah,
and don't feel bullied. Don't feel as though you are being forced to change long-standing and, for all of human history, held opinions about the...
Excuse me? Wait, what? Did Ben Shapiro just bring up history in terms of queer identities? Oh, wow. I was hoping this would happen. Right, so, I'm gonna be very brief on this, but basically, if you think that, the whole trans thing and gay thing and stuff is, recent, it's, new, if you're one of the nutcases that thinks that this is just a thing that happened in the 80s onwards or whatever, or some people think that it's a thing that's just happened in the last 5 years, which it just isn't. Go back through the history books and look into what was happening during the Roman and Egyptian times. Look into the ancient Roman and ancient Egyptian times, and you will see how that social hierarchy, that social space, that society really didn't care about sexuality and gender in terms of it was just kind of, as Ben kind of put it earlier, it was kind of just fluid. You could just basically do whatever you wanted, and no one really cared either way. It's the whole thing of this is another tangent. I like to go on tangents apparently. But it's the whole thing, the whole idea of men can't wear dresses, which gets spread quite a lot. Think about how all the Romans and all the ancient Egyptians and stuff, they wore tunics, I suppose, but basically dresses. So sure, society changes, but 70 years ago, whether it wasn't normal for women to wear trousers. It's one of those things where it's society does change a lot, but you'd be surprised at how hundreds, thousands even of years ago, certain things that we find weird now that are coming back essentially were very much a thing back then. It's interesting to think about, but yeah, look it up. If you're questioning me, just look it up. I'll try and I may forget, but I'll try and put some sources in the description below for this sort of information. Yeah, no, don't ever bring up history when talking about LGBTQ plus stuff, because the chances are, no matter what you're arguing about, unless it's non-binary stuff, you can find stuff that goes back thousands of years dating it, like saying that people, or at least implying certain things. So yeah, Ben, just don't talk history. Don't talk history. It doesn't work.
Non-malleability of sex. It is all because you're discriminatory in your mind. Don't worry about the fact that this is all illogical and makes no sense. The media have told you that a thing is so, and therefore it is so.
I mean, I can't. Okay, the fact that he ended it like that, I can't actually argue against it, because yeah, the whole listen to the media because the media is always right thing is wrong. Even as a media journalist in my own right, yeah, don't just believe everything you see in the media, but at the same time, don't discount everything you see. That you should use your logic. Be like Ben. Use logic. Don't be like Ben. Please don't be like Ben. But like, there's. It's so difficult to argue this point now because of the fact immediate about media. Generally, you should just be wary of the media. You shouldn't just take everything at face value, fair enough. But at the same time, just be a nice person. Just be a decent human being,
And therefore, and also, if you mention it, it's because you're obsessed with these issues. This is one of my.
I mean, you are. You made a 9-minute video about someone that you've never met and how they're wanting to be referred to in a different way to the way you're used to, and you're crying about it. That's basically what's happening. You can say that I care way too much about this, but like also I'm part of this community. Like this, like people spreading information like this, or misinformation, should I say, like this, it affects me directly, whereas no part of any of this affects Ben, unless he is actually gay, and we just, he's hiding it pretty well,
Favorites is that you say something as radical as men and women are exactly the same and a man can become a woman, and then I say no. And they're like, why are you even paying attention to this? Why are you even making an issue out of this?
It's not really that radical. Like, I don't know.
I'm not. You guys are. I'm sorry, but you purveyors of new truths that have nothing to do with science, logic, reason, the answer is no.
I'm not going to repeat myself, but why does he keep bringing up this stuff?
The answer is no. I do not go along with your mandatory take on the world, and I don't think Americans should either. That's not an excuse for being nasty to people. It's not an excuse for discrimination.
It sounds like you're making excuses for being nasty to people and being discriminatory.
It is a recommendation that we all speak real truths when they are available.
I'd say that speaking your own truths is more important than speaking, like, the truths of all. So, if you're saying that you're a trans man, if you're saying that you're, like, a trans woman, if you're saying that you're non-binary, I'd say that takes precedent over how others perceive you and think that you should be, like, described. That's just me. I'm just a filthy libtard. I'm sure that's according to Ben. I'm sure that's what he's going to say.
And it happens to be a real truth that Elliot Page was, and will remain a woman, even if Elliot Page believes that she is a man. And you're under no obligation, moral or otherwise, to suggest that men can become.
Morally, you are under slight obligation, due to the fact that it's more moral to accept change. Like, change that's neutral, like, is morally acceptable. I don't know why you have. Whatever.
Women, or to teach that to your children, which is really what the left wants out of this whole deal.
Oh yes, yes, I agree. Oh, is that the end?
Did you know?
That is the end. Okay, cool. So yeah. Wow, that was a video. That was definitely a video. So oh wowie. So basically what he did was he sat there for 9 minutes and misgendered somebody. That's all this is. That's all this video is. He made no real arguments for why he was doing it. Honestly, it's remarkable that he's still platformed. Like, I'm I'm completely against deplatformization. I think everyone should be able to say their thoughts somewhere on the internet. I just don't necessarily think that YouTube or Twitter or whatever is the place where it should be said. But on that note, this has been a really long video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you enjoy me just blabbering on about this kind of stuff and like responding to videos and stuff, make sure to like the video. Tell me if you want me to react to more stuff in the future. These are a bit more fun for me personally compared to the fully scripted stuff that I usually do. They also take a lot less time, which is nice. Because long story short, you can leave at this point. Thanks for watching, guys. Like, subscribe, all that jazz. Yeah, I make a minimum of 9 videos a week, and that's like bare minimum. That's like if nothing else happens, because I run I run 3 channels that are mine. I run 2 group channels, and I'm a editor for another channel. So, you know, I have a lot of content on my plate. So, you know, stuff like this where I can just kind of sit back and just kind of talk about something is a lot more fun for me, and have something visual on screen just to respond to. Look at Ben's dumb face. But yeah, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Let's subscribe, all that jazz, and I'll see you next time. Bye.
Whores in this house. There's some whores in this house. There's some whores in this house. There's some whores in this house. Hold on. I said certified freak. 7 days a week.